So I received this comment under one of my more recent videos. I'm going to read it for you guys. Let's check it out. The gentleman puts here, "Hey there, great archives and spotlights on biracial history. I must confess, I'm a bit perplexed of your use of the word mulatto. As an American biracial person, my black family taught me that word was derogatory, used by slave owners for slave children born from a female slave and a white master. I've never heard Halle Berry, Jennifer Beals, Lenny Kravitz, Mariah Carey, or Barack Obama ever call themselves mulatto, and I don't refer to myself that way either." So let's get into this. There's a lot to unpack here. Firstly, I'll start off where he says, "As an American biracial person, my black family taught me that the word was derogatory." First red flag. As we know, it's very common for black Americans to be, adamantly against the word mulatto and for any mixed person to use that term. Why? Because they want the ability to be able to weaponize the one drop rule against you, to in-group you and out-group you, and to claim you as black when it's convenient, but then also disown you when you get too much shine. I'm not saying all, I'm not saying most. I'm saying that the current social order, the system we have in place right now, a lot of people are taking advantage of that. They're taking advantage of the loosely vague kind of mixed category. And the mulatto ties you to the history. And the thing is with the whole mulatto, being tied with the black mom, like slave owners, and then like slave children born from the white master. The thing is that mulatto, the word has existed even in the Arabic world in North Africa with mulawad. So the word has existed, prior to the American social order or chattel slavery in America. What happens is you're talking to a lot of Afrocentric African Americans who are distorting history, and they're not telling the whole story. They're only starting with about, 1800s, history. They're not talking about the 1500s, what was going on in the Iberian Peninsula when a lot of these black Moors and also Arabic Berbers and the trade that they had between the Middle East, North Africa, and Europe, in the Iberian Peninsula, in Spain, exactly, Portugal. They're not telling the other side of the story, where there were African and Arabic invaders into Southern Europe who were interbreeding with the women there. See, they leave that part out. See, they're only focused on the black woman and the white slave master narrative. That's very common when you talk to the Afrocentrics in the United States of America. And this is what I'm telling you. They're not giving you all the accurate information. And the reason why that is because a lot of them basically have an agenda to keep you as a subordinate without an identity. They want to be able to identity police you. This is a sad, unfortunate reality we see. So for me personally, it's very liberating when I uphold the word mulatto because I'm reclaiming the history. I'm reclaiming an identity. I'm taking it back. I'm taking power back and saying, this is mine. This is for me. And I'm gatekeeping it. And so a lot of people don't like that. So that's why they have positioned themselves to demonize the word, to say it's derogatory. Because I've never really heard white people ever say the word is derogatory unless they're basically liberals, right? It's going to be over 99% of the time black Americans who will say the word is derogatory, not black Africans, continental Africans, or black people from the Caribbean islands. It's always the North American Bantu. Okay. The African American person is going to be the Afrocentric, specifically. The main one is, isn't that word bad? It's derogatory. Don't say that. There's a better word to use. And you listen to them, you listen to their hip hop songs, they're using the N word, calling each other dogs and bees. You're just like, okay, yeah, you don't have a say in this. I'm sorry. So this comment's quite interesting. I felt like it was worthy enough for a, further response in video format. And it's a common misconception. Yeah, people who are basically, they're finding my content, like this guy put here, great archives. I really love the fact that you're talking about the history, but I don't like the word mulatto. Can you change it to biracial history channel? No. This isn't Mulatto History Channel. You don't like the word, that's perfectly fine. You're probably going to stay not liking it, but a lot of us do like the word, and we're finding each other, we're reclaiming our history. And that's the critical element there, our history. For us, we have something that's unique to us that we understand. And he mentioned a few celebrities, which is common, Halle Berry, Jennifer Beals, Lenny Kravitz, Mariah Carey. So I'll start with those four. They're actors. Well, Lenny Kravitz and Mariah Carey's a musician. So two musicians or artists and then two actors or actresses specifically. Now they have to basically placate and market their art, their material to a majority black audience. Therefore, they're going to just say they're black. They're not going to tell the other side of the story. And it's a different time as well. The generational nuance, we have to understand that. A lot of the mulattoes from the older generations were kind of trapped into the one drop rule thinking. And Mariah Carey here, yeah, she's never called herself a mulatto publicly, but she's always proclaimed that she's mixed. She's part African, think Venezuelan, I believe, and an Irish. She's never said she was just black. So that's one thing to be, understand. She identifies as mixed and biracial. So that's a win for us. The fact that she doesn't use the term mulatto, to me, I'm like over that. I do not care. The fact is there's a difference between mulatto and a black person. And you mentioned Barack Obama. Now, Barack Obama can say whatever the hell he wants, but the thing is the guy publicly referred to himself as a mutt, which most people would say that's far worse. That's like you're calling yourself a dog or an animal. He said that, if he went to an animal shelter and he had to adopt a dog, he said he would adopt a mutt because it's just like him. Some weird reference he made.
Our preference would be to get a shelter dog, but obviously a lot of shelter dogs are mutts like me. A lot of shelter dogs are mutts like me.
That was on the campaign trail back in 2008, I believe, or 2027. So a long time ago, kind of, right? Almost 20 years ago. But it was a very stupid reference he made. So he didn't use the word mulatto specifically. That's because a lot of these mulattoes, this is a brand new consciousness that the younger generation, for me, I represent millennials, we're kind of forced to awaken and understand that this is our destiny. This is what we have to do. The older generations kind of were fixed in a way. I mean, talking about Xers or boomers per se. But me as a millennial representing millennials, and you have the Zs, etc. Like a lot of these other people, in these newer generations, younger generations, they realize they have to embrace in their mulatto-ness. And we have a solid comment right here from Parja 2J. Shout out to her. I really love everything she's doing. And this is actually a comment that she made on her Instagram page that I kind of, screenshotted and wanted to talk about it here a little bit. I shared it to my wall as well. Let's check it out. I'll read the English portion. She puts here, contrary to what is spread around, the term has no racist origin. She's talking about mulatto, right? The origin of the word is the term mulawad, which means mixing Arabic with non-Arabic. Exactly. Both words, mulatta, mulatto, and mullah before mulawad by the association of hybridism, i.e. mixture of different. Being hybrid is not shameful and is not offensive to be defined by it. I believe that the problem is not the word itself, but in the stereotype and prejudice about mulatto people. That's what needs to be changed, not the term itself. Exactly. It's the fact, and not only just the prejudice with the word mulatto, but the common misconceptions with the word mulatto, where people have it twisted, or they're trying to rewrite history, or they're only telling one side of the story, and it's to fit an agenda. Ultimately, from examining all the material, from what I understand, the real core issue to why people do not like the word mulatto or they find it to be derogatory is because they feel like they're losing something. They feel like they're losing a group, a population that they can manipulate with identity policing them, scapegoating them, and gaslighting them. They feel like they're losing a group of people that they can basically have kind of ownership over. I hate to put it like that, but when we examine social media with all the identity policers and all this stuff, this is what it is. Like the main people who have an issue with the word mulatto, like they have some type of separate agenda that's Afrocentric in nature, that serves some other purpose, which is to the benefit of monoracial and darker skinned people. And so mulattoes get left out there looking like, what the hell? What is my destiny? Like, what the hell? Why am I trying to, why don't I just do my own thing? We have all the tools, all the information around us at our fingertips. Why not just embrace who we really are? That's the way I see it. And then we have here a notorious YouTube troll who's a black identified thug. Goes by the name Golden Pookie, is what I call him. Now, he's very radical, and he, like, from the start, was like, I don't refer to myself as a mulatto. He hates the word mulatto. He prefers to call himself golden, which doesn't mean anything. There's no history there, but whatever. So he's really against the word mulatto. And he put this comment here on his channel: if you don't have a black mother, this is not your history. And a matter of fact, even the term mulatto itself, you guys see that? We just went over the fact that during the conquest of the Moors in the Middle East and even in Iberian Peninsula, you had black male Moors and also Arabic Berbers Moors who were invading into Southern Europe, into Spain, Portugal, Italy, and occupied the territories for years. And those guys, those soldiers who were there, they interbred with a lot of people there. That's why there's a history within, the Anglosphere. There's like a hierarchy of the Nordic tradition where they say like the Anglo-Saxons, where you have Nordic people who are at the top, and they consider the people who are Southern Europeans to be a step below them. There's literally a hierarchy with these people. Okay. And there's a reason why, and that's because of the history of conquest, because they look at those nations like Spain, Portugal, and Italy as not being as pure white as the Nordic Aryans. Okay. So they understand the history. And they gatekeep themselves and their culture. They create a hierarchy. But some of these other people, they leave that part out. No, there were black Moors who interbred with a lot of the white European women in Spain and Portugal and Italy. Okay, hundreds of years ago. This is history. This is where the word mulatto comes from mulawad, from the Arabic language. This is it. So when you have this guy here, this Golden Pookie, who wants to distort history, and he only wants to, tell it from the kind of the American black female viewpoint, it's because he has an agenda, because he's Afrocentric and pro-black and black identified, right? This is why he's saying that the term, if you don't have a black mom, well, then the term doesn't belong to you or the history. No, I don't think so, buddy. Nice try, though. And he puts here as well, which is a slave title originally. No, it was not. It wasn't a slave title. It was a racial and ethnic classification for mixed race people of European and African descent around the globe. Before the transatlantic slave trade, some could argue with the Arabic slave trade, okay. And like I said, the Moorish conquest into Southern Europe, yeah. This is before America even existed. So don't let these people fool you. Okay, and then he puts here, doesn't even really belong to people with white moms, and he laughs. Because that's his whole premise, is that this guy really has a lot of animosity with white mom biracials.
My platform is not for all mixed people. They have white mothers. If you got a white mother and you from the suburbs, this ain't the channel for you, player. Gal, girl, man, boy, you're not welcome here. White mama, you're not welcome here, man. If you grew up around white people and then you have a white mama, I'm letting you know right now, this is not the channel for you.
It's funny because I see some of the losers amongst mulattoes who have white moms, but maybe they grew up in a trailer park, or they hate themselves. They're still trying to be cool with this guy and use him as a proxy, which is a whole nother separate case that I talk about on one of my other channels. Very unfortunate. But this guy's got it all messed up, where he publicly was like, I don't want you white mom mulattoes on my channel. Don't come to my channel. The mulatto history belongs to us with black moms. And this is a very divisive character. But what I'm pointing out here is that he doesn't understand the history. He has the history all mixed up and wrong, because mulattoes have existed for centuries before America even existed. And yes, black men, as I'll repeat it again, that were Moors, invaded, and Arabs as well, that invaded Southern Europe and interbred with the white women there. Very interesting topic. We're going to be talking about this a lot more, I know, in the future. And I really want to see what you guys have to put in the comment section. Let's keep this conversation going. I look forward to hearing from you guys later. Talk to you next time.